sit so far away. I'm not going to read the question. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah, go.
Does prejudice and racism exist within the gay community?
Okay, so I changed my mind. I am talking today.
Oh boy.
Of course it does. Totally does.
How so?
Heavily, yeah.
Without a doubt, and I don't think it matters what country you come from. I mean, I'm from South Africa, and there's a massive segregation between black, white, Indian. We have a race in South Africa known as colours. So there's mass segregation. Those ones don't like those ones. Those ones don't like those ones. You know, like I've dated both people of colour and white people, and if I go to like a black party, I always get like, if I go with a white partner, then the white partner gets like, you know, looked up and down. Why are you here? This is not your party. This is not your place. These are not your people. Do you know what I mean? And then I get side-eyed, like, why are you only dating people of? Why aren't you dating? And it's just like, I like who I like and I date who I date. What's that got to do with anything? And it's sad within the gay community because we're meant to be.
We're a minority enough.
Do you know what I mean? We're meant to be together. We can't be like hating on one another as well. How are we expecting other people to like us and accept us if we can't even accept ourselves?
Yeah. But then I think it does kind of go back to like history though when you think about it. So like there's outside of the LGBT community there is still that stigma when you bring home like a white partner or whatever to your family. It's like, do you know what I mean? Like there's still like raised eyebrows. So I don't know if it's necessarily kind of solely in the community or if it's just a general race prejudice.
But I also find it's not solely race, it's also misogynistic.
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing that anyone can be identified with is anything feminine. And I find that in the gay community, if you do embrace feminine qualities, you're often denigrated or there's almost a hierarchy, especially amongst men. I don't know specifically amongst women. But I know that, you know, if you like to wear floral things and flouncy things and you like to be a bit, you know, camp or whatever, that they're almost seen as really, really bad qualities. Like, I know a lot of people have friends that are camp, but they're like, oh, I'd never date them. I'd never date someone that was, you know, feminine. Because in society generally, I think femininity is seen as the worst thing you can be identified with. And that pervades so much of queer culture, gay culture, lesbian culture. Like, it's just a really sort of unfortunate thing because, as you say, it's so unnecessary.
It is.
What do you think is the reason that like your friends wouldn't date somebody that was kind of more feminine? That they've given you?
I don't know. Is it stigma? Maybe.
Okay.
Stigma still. Like, you know, if someone's raging or whatever, you know, it's sort of seen as, I don't know.
Like it's too gay.
Yeah, you can tell even from the word raging. You're like, yeah, you can tell that it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's more of an issue in the gay community over here, more so than race. Because if there's more of a stigma attached to you being feminine over here than whether you're black, white, or indifferent. It's kind of nuts. Yeah, I'll probably agree because I don't feel like, I mean, I know the clubs are separated. So like but it's mainly because of music, I think, as well. Music has a large part to play in why different people, different races go to different clubs. But I don't feel like I've personally witnessed any kind of real racial anything in the gay community at all.
Well, recently there's been some blackface acts that
Are you serious?
and this is something that's been going on for a while and it's been accepted. It's been accepted for a white LGBT artist to go in and put on foundation.
Oh, you talking about like drag?
There's drag acts,
yes.
right? And there's even one at what was it? One of the prides.
One of the prides.
A Beyonce cover act, and she fully did the black makeup. And they said that they had somebody, you know, some relations that was making sure that it wasn't a blackface, and people are outraged by this. But this continues to go on, and people are booking these people. And there's obviously a market for it because people are going to their shows.
And
I don't know if it's a market for the blackface or if it's a market for the music that they're selling.
it's not
True,
true.
so there is a lot, and I mean, not saying that I agree with it, and I don't, but there is a lot more to the act than the blackface, and I don't know whether the people go into it,
Then why
ignorant
black
as they may be.
Then why black your face up?
Is it necessary?
No,
it's definitely not necessary.
When people go onto these talent shows, they don't go into the talent show and black their faces up
Just
to sing
because they're singing a Beyonce
song.
song. Yeah.
They don't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, you've crossed the line. You've crossed.
100%, 100% across the line.
And anybody who books these acts in, you've crossed the line too. And we shouldn't. I just don't understand why these things are still happening. And it's happening all over the world.
But I mean, pop culture, music culture has harvested black culture since time immemorial. Like, it's just been what they do. They take something that we, as black people, have developed and is a source of release, of unity, of everything, and they're attracted to it, and they take it out of context, and then it's acceptable. So this is my point. It's like, in an ideal world, if there was no such thing as racism or anything, then great, you could black up, you could do this, you could tape your eyes, whatever you want to do, because there's no such thing as racism. You're just exploring the differences between people. But the point is, these differences are not accepted by the very people who have those qualities. And so if how I am is not acceptable, then why is it acceptable for you to parody what I am?
Yeah.
And it's the same with like hair, with fashion, with ways of speaking,
But then I think like the wider community don't actually know that they're kind of parodying. I think they just see something and like, oh, that's cute, and don't know where it actually comes from. It's the people that are kind of like in the fashion industries and in the music industries or whatever that are like, oh, do you know what? That's a cool sound. That's a cool look. I'm gonna pull that, and then try to, I don't know, curate something of their own based on those influences. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's kind of more, I don't know, the elite as opposed to the general public that's making those kind of decisions. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Alright, let me go around. Have you ever dated somebody outside of your race?
No.
Any reasons why?
Bro, I don't know if this thing. It's like, alright, let me do this. No, I don't think there's any particular specific reason. I've just always kind of gravitated towards my own race. There's never been an issue with it in regards to my upbringing. Like, my stepdad's white, brother's a mixed race, like my own dad's mixed race, so that's never kind of been an issue dating outside your race, but I've always just been attracted to my own race, I guess. Yeah, that's about it really.
There's no more to it.
Not really,
Well, I mean, I date white girls, so I've dated, my girlfriends have been white, but I've been with people of colour, I've been with black girls, I've been with, I think the only ones I haven't been with is Asian, but I've been with everyone else because for me it's not about, I don't care, if I like you, I like you, if I'm attracted, but it just so happens that my girlfriends have been white.
Why is it just your girlfriends that are white though?
It's just happened that way, it's not by choice, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna date you, like date you because you're white. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't been a case like that or anything. I mean, like I've been with black girls. I've been, like I said, we have a race in our country called colours. I've been with coloured girls. The only race that I probably haven't been with is Asian. And again, no reason. I haven't, in South Africa, I never met an Asian person that I was attracted to or anything like that. So that was literally it. Do you know what I mean? Circumstance, exactly. Whereas with dating only white girls that were my girlfriends, it's just circumstantial.
Are the clubs multiracial?
A bit of both. So, I mean, a lot of clubs ended up closing down. So the gay scene's kind of like dissipated everywhere. And people don't want us around, clearly. But they were segregated. It was mainly black clubs and then white clubs, and maybe because we have a history of massive segregation, do you know what I mean? So maybe that comes into it, like you were saying earlier on, that it's not just about, it's from the outside, it's not just about the inside. But for me, that's like music-wise, you were like also clubs play like certain music, and people are attracted to all of that. And as a white person, if you wanted to go to a hip-hop club, which is generally more black, you still get like eyeballed. Like, but why are you here? And it's like, but guy, I like the same music. There's no other reason. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So clubbing wise, maybe that was influential, in the fact that maybe I went to more white clubs than I did anything else, but there were mixed people there, so it's not like I was only stuck with a whole bunch of white people. So
do you feel like that scenario is as magnified in London as it is in South Africa in terms of like the racial division and that?
To be honest, I mean, I have noticed it since I've been here, and it's been like, for me, I expected so much more. You know, it's first world, like you guys are way more developed in so many other things, so I was a little bit shocked at how it still is quite segregated. Do you know what I mean? I took my girlfriend to a party that I was emceeing last year around Pride, and she got shoved because she was the white girl in this joint where, do you know what I mean? But there were other white girls there with their black girlfriends, and it was okay because they were hood enough. Whereas, do you know what I mean? Whereas my girl, she's not good, she chilled, but she got shoved down the stairs by some other girl, and then there was like a little bit of banter. I was too tired to deal, but if I actually had heard the banter, she didn't tell me about this. She told me when we left. But if I'd heard the banter, I would have gone in, been like, what is your issue?
So just as a zoom on that, like when you say she got pushed down the stairs, did she literally get pushed down the stairs, or did somebody just refuse to twist their shoulder?
It was basically somebody refused to twist their shoulder, and in that twisting was a shove, and then there was, oh, but why are you here? You shouldn't be here anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
and I was shocked. I was shocked because I was like, well, why you gotta be like that? Do you know what I mean? I heard this once we left. She didn't tell me when we were inside because she knew I was gonna blow. So when we were leaving, walking back to the station, she was like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened. And I was like, really?
Big things like that.
Do you know what I mean? And that made my blood boil because I was like, I don't have time for this shit. I don't have time for racial slurs and whatnot. Meanwhile, there were 5 white girls upstairs dancing with their boos and everything was okay. But now one person, you know, it's always one person that's gonna just dampen the whole mood. So I was shocked by that.
Yeah, maybe the other white girls kind of got away with their space in the club environment because they were familiar faces. Do you know what I mean?
Probably.
Or like their girlfriends were known or whatever.
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, it could have been a whole load of things.
But still not cool, regardless. Regardless of whether I'm a part of the scene or not a part of the scene, if you've seen my face, we should not be treating each other like that at all.
Yeah,
it's not right. It's not right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm at the club, I enjoy the same music, we all like to get down to the same hip hop stars or whatever the story is. What difference does it make? The color of my skin or the color of my girlfriend's skin? Like, seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in the scene over here. Like, I've never heard of a situation like yours.
I've not. So at least that makes me feel then that it must not be like that a lot.
All the time.
If we're all here like we've never heard anything like that, then it could be one of those
For me,
cases.
but for me, it's like this. That's British culture. It's a lot more insidious. And so, for instance, a friend of mine was dating a white friend dating a black guy, and then when they were talking to their friends about it, you know, outside of the company of their partner, one of their friends said to them, "Oh yeah, but I couldn't date. I mean, I understand you date black, but I wouldn't date black." And my friend was trying to say, like, why does that bother me like so much that they could say it? And I was like, well, it's the difference between you saying I like apples and you like pears, but it's not that. What she said was, I like apples, I would eat pears. Do you know what I mean? There's already a loaded mentality about it. It's saying, oh, you can do that, that's fine for you, like, but I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't even try them. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's that mentality. It's that there's already a blockade for some people when it comes to dating in different races and stuff. Like, my relationship history looks like a United Colours Benetton advert, like, except, you know, maybe a cat and a cow is in there as well. And a tree. But like, for me, it's never been external. Like, it's so much more important to. Obviously, I have things that I'm attracted to. Like, I have types and stuff that I go, yeah, that really goes.
But the stuff the types that you have, does that like go across the races, or do you have like a type of white guy you like, a type of black guy you like?
Yeah, it does fit into different categories. But my point is, there are things that I find aesthetically attractive, but actually my relationships have not necessarily been with what I on a visual sort of meeting would say I'm attracted to. And it's actually the most successful relationships I've had have been with people where I didn't pursue based on the initial things that I find I'm attracted to. You know, they sort of developed. I had much better relationships with people who suddenly I found them attractive. You know,
I can kind of relate to that. Because like normally, if I see someone, I tend to be attracted to more masculine guys.
Yeah.
However, all of my relationships have been quite feminine guys. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of what you said. I can definitely relate. Like, my relationships are the complete opposite of what I find aesthetic.
But again, I think the way rich people are is part of that. I think we are told what the benchmark of beauty is. We are told what the benchmark of
it's just Western, more Western.
Oh yeah, Western. But I think
the whole world,
I think
honestly.
just to relate it to where we are is the way it's done here. You know, in America, for instance, it's so ghettoized that people are more upfront about their prejudices, whereas here,
Conservative.
One of the most racist things someone said to me was when I told them I got into a really, really good school. They were like, "Oh, that's good for you." You know, but I knew what they meant. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's to do with the sort of subtext and the
there is a lot of that.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. That's what I find. I just find that it's the way that we communicate here that makes it harder to sort of expose sometimes.
So, Daniel, you said that you wouldn't. No, you said you haven't. Would you?
Good question.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I just haven't met someone that I would. Like I said, I think because I'm attracted to black guys, I suppose I just haven't met anyone or seen anyone outside of my race that I'm like, oh yeah, I'd settle down with you, you know. It's just, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's because of my surroundings and what I do in my spare time. I don't really, I'm not around a lot of diverse kind of people. I hang around with a lot of black people, so it's just what I see as it's my environment, I suppose.
Okay. With me, it's slightly different. When I first remember my initial attractions to men was when I was younger, and it had no any race. It didn't matter whatsoever. And then it slightly started to change when I started going out and started raving. That's when it was just primarily black guys. But now and I've still never dated any white guy or any guy outside of my own race. Would I now? I definitely would want to. I'm all hopeful about it. I definitely will want to, and it's something, and I still do find other races attractive. I guess what the issue that I find is that there's cultural differences that I find hard to get past. Where, I mean, especially loads of people, because of I'm very pro-black. So many other races see that as a threat and see that as anti something else. And I don't want me getting into a relationship with somebody outside my race to hinder or make me feel like I can't express how much I love my own race. And I haven't been able to find that kind of connection with somebody outside of my race, so it just hasn't happened. But I would, and they are attractive. It just kind of ends there.
What about you, ladies? You be quiet. Nobody say nothing.
Come on, next. Talk.
No, I've dated a white girl once.
What is wrong?
No, I dated a white girl once, a long time ago, but...
It's the way you're saying the story, bro.
No, but I
You sound regretful.
No, I think it is as you get older, like you're saying, you kind of realise what you want in a relationship, do you know what I mean? And there were things that I think were highlighted by the fact that we had two different cultures and coming from two different spaces. When we walk into a room, she's automatically treated different to me because of our skin colour, do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I don't know if I'd do it again. I don't know, for that very reason. I'm just like,
Don't know if you bother to handle all of that baggage.
Yeah, I can't.
To it. Well, that's outside of those personal baggage.
Yeah.
That comes naturally.
It's so draining. It is draining. It's like, I know somebody who's a very, very wealthy black guy, and he's married to a white guy. And you know, if the black guy if they're out for a meal and he goes for a check and asks for the check, it always exclusively gets placed in front of the white guy. Like, and this is when the black guy has asked for the check. Like, and it's just little things like that when they are so consistent. You find you start getting a little bit like it's like it starts to sort of eke away at your ego, your mental health actually. But and that's when you can blow up over such stupid things sometimes in a mixed relationship, like a mixed relationship.
And the thing is that you got to deal with people's family and that. Do you know what I mean? So like you meet them, they might be cool and accepting and whatever, and then they've got an uncle that's slightly racist, and then they say something that's slightly inappropriate, and you're like, don't want to disrespect them.
Should you let that get in the way at the end of the day, though?
No, I don't think you should.
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not saying like I'm letting that get in the way, but it is a factor. You see what I mean? It is a factor where like I know me, and if you say something that's rude or insulting, it's gonna take me a hot minute to feel cool with you again, even if I didn't, you know, blow up at the time. I'm just gonna be like, no, but your uncle's racist, bro. I don't wanna go to his house.
You just don't. Because trust me, with most of my white girlfriends, a lot of their family members or whatever were racist. So here comes this mixed race little girl. They don't even look past the fact that I'm mixed race or part white. They're just like, you black, and you're dating my white girlfriend or my white child. Like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? There is going to be an uncle or an auntie who's going to come in and say some bullshit. But I'm just like, yo, we go to the family, auntie's there, I'm not going. Done. I don't need to put myself around that.
But how do you maintain like a long-term relationship with somebody when you can't spend time?
Do you know what, man? I grew up with it. My dad was white, my mom was black. That's what I was surrounded with 24/7. We'd go to the shops, there would be prejudice all the time. People would be looking at my mom, they'd be looking at my dad, they'd be looking at the mixed girl in between, and they're like, Do you know what I mean? I grew up with that. So I have a thick skin when it comes to race and it comes to the in-between. So I just, like, I know how to handle it. There are differences and, like, you know, I'll wash my hair differently to how my girl washes her hair, or how she treats this or how she treats that when she says things. And I speak up. If you say something that I feel is a little bit offensive, I'm like, yo, you can't say that. You can't say that to me or around me. If that's how you feel, that's fine, but don't say it around me, because this is my background and this is what I've had to deal with. You have to be open and honest about it. Do you know what I mean? You have to be open and honest.
Has it ever got to the stage where you don't want to deal with it? Or has it ever ended because of race?
Never. It's ended because of human bullshit. It's ended because
all the other shit.
It's ended because all the other stuff, cheating or whatever. It's never ever been a racial thing. Ever.
Fair enough.
Okay, so when I was growing up, my dad was extremely homophobic and extremely prejudiced towards anybody that wasn't black. I use that word for a reason. However, so my dad was like, if you bring a white man home, see, done. Like, you're not my child. So, growing up, I was a little bit homophobic, trying to fight against what I knew I was. But yet it was kind of hard not to look at white people when you go to a predominantly white school and you live in a predominantly white area. So I'm surprised I didn't end up dating any white people. But then when I came out, one of my friends said to me, yeah, but Nims, you're supposed to do the black man route. You're supposed to start with a white girl and then work your way up to the black girl.
Sorry, what is this route? What is this?
Yeah, these are the things. This is something that one of my straight friends said. You're supposed to do the black man route and go with your white girl first, have your fun, and then when you're ready to settle down, go and find yourself a black girl.
That's the maddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And but no, I haven't dated any. Would I?
The magic question.
I can't say no. But I doubt it.
Why? Why'd you doubt it?
Because my preference is I like certain things. And the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And I like them. But having said that, I've ended up with quite a few light skin girls or mixed race girls. So
So you may as well.
So
does any of that come from what
no, because the first
think or how people perceive a black girl dating a girl of another race?
Not for me, because the first girl I ever fancied was white. I had a crush on a girl at school, and Matilda, sorry. But yeah, I had a crush on a girl at school, and that was, I couldn't understand what it was about this girl. I was just wanted to be her friend. I was just like, I was infatuated with her, and it wasn't until years later that I looked at her again and was like, that's what it was. Fancied you. I have, you know, that group of friends. I have white girls that hang around with us. We've got, so to me, in fact, one of the white girls dates a black girl, and it's not an issue. It's not an issue.
Yeah, no.
It's just so not an issue. Going to a predominantly white school, it's just not an issue.
But if you say that you had attractions to white girls,
yeah,
but now they don't even factor on your radar, what's happened?
I can look at a white girl and say she is beautiful, or she is, yeah. Ultimately, she's not. It doesn't work out that way.
So,
I can look at someone. What's so funny?
I keep laughing, yeah, because I know exactly what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're getting at. Like,
I can look at.
and I'ma own it. Like, when I was younger, like, I was attracted to white girls and I dated a white girl. But as I've got older, I'm slightly like, we age differently. And I don't, like. No.
So you're gonna get Ricky as soon as I
So in order to maintain image and stigma, it's not that deep, but I'm like, it became a factor, bro. It genuinely became a factor for me. It was like, how is this gonna work? Because like, we go out and get ID'd, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, alright. Do you know what? If you can look youthful and sprightly or whatever for a longer period of time, I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that.
That's probably, you know what the thing is, yeah? That's probably something that would probably come into my mind and go, I probably think about it, it wouldn't be a factor as to the reason why.
That's a strong.
I'm saying it was a consideration. So when you were saying about people's perception and the way it looks from the outside, bro, like little things factor in. That's why I was like, do you know what? Do dancing a little bit. I'm gonna throw mine out there. Fuck it, that's where it is.
Dancing.
I like
I'm saying I'm trying to find out if there's something culturally or an experiential thing that's made you lock a door or something.
Well, I don't know, because if I see a white girl, she's got a fat ass and she's walking past me and saying, yes, darling. I'm gonna say it the same way.
Are you gonna chirp it? Are you gonna make her your wife?
Yeah, why not?
Would I make her my
These
wife?
are the questions I'm
Well, not even that.
I don't know, because that's down to personality.
Would you have a tryst?
Yeah.
Could I?
Not
If
necessarily.
she was hot, I don't see why not. But I haven't.
Yeah, right. So
But I
in a minute it's
So
happening.
you've never seen one. You've never seen a white
hot
girl
enough.
then. If you're saying that you've seen them, you would,
Sorry.
but you haven't, then have you seen one?
I guess, sorry to cut you, but I guess this is what normally happens is, yeah, when people say, oh, they don't really have a preference in race and they only find themselves dating their own race. And let's just say that out of 10, yeah, they find that they're probably dating like some 5s, some 4s in their own race, and they see a 7 in the other race walk by and think that, yeah, oh my gosh, you're good looking, but won't date them, and still say, oh yeah, I'll date outside my race.
I tell you what, the only underlying thing that would be something for me to think about would be the cultural differences. Little things like, do I have to teach you certain things? Because I wouldn't want to have to do that. I wouldn't want to have to teach you that you can't say this or this is how you cook chicken. This is how you do this. I wouldn't want to have to do it that you have to wash your meat. I wouldn't want to have to do any of these things.
Well, hopefully, I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like that's kind of stuff that you would figure out with a person. If you started dating someone and you would know by date 1 if they're a full-on racist and they're just trying to taste the chocolate, you'd be like, nah, I'm not playing this game. Do you know what I mean? But people are different. It doesn't matter what culture you come from. I'm still going to teach you how I like to cook chicken. And you might teach me how you like to cook chicken.
I don't know.
My way is better.
But I guess
with the pro-black thing, that I think that with me being so pro-black, again, it sometimes does give that facade that I am anti-white or I'm anti-this.
It makes it's abrasive. It's abrasive. Because I think a lot of this is set when we're young. Like I think a lot of that it happens. But I've also noticed that some people, because we're told what is beautiful, and it's not. We see magazines, we see films, we see how black people are presented, and that starts from a very, very young age. Like, you know, it's before you even have a sense of what you're seeing, you've been sort of molded to think certain things. So sometimes you have people like white guys who think they're racist, or white girls who think they're like they don't like black people, but actually what it is they're attracted to them, but they've been told they're not what is beautiful, or they're not what they should be with. So that causes sort of internal struggle, and I know, like, I've got a friend who dates these skinhead, like, he's a black guy who dates these white skinhead kind of guys that end sometimes very dangerously for him. But he's like, yeah, I'm attracted to them. I'm attracted to that danger.
See, sorry, that's the exact same thing though. Because when I go to the club, especially like predominantly white club, I'll find that if any guy comes up to me, for one, he's really just wants to know if I sell drugs or not, because I'm black and I'm there. But other than that, it's going to be some sort of fetish. I was just about to say,
is that because black people are overly sexualized? And
it's just what they think of black people.
I think that's one thing that kind of puts me off as well, like dating white guys, for example, because whenever I'm around white guys, the first thing they kind of say to me is, oh, you're a really black guy, oh, I bet you got a really big black cock. Because do you know how off-putting that is? Like, just leave me alone in it. No, I don't sell drugs and I've got a 2-inch dick, go away. I don't entertain that kind of conversation. It's really off-putting.
What are some of the perceptions you guys have of like other races?
Within the gay community?
Yeah.
I don't know about a perception, but something I've noticed, right? I've noticed that the white gay clubs don't get closed down as much as the black gay clubs. I noticed that there are certain nights that are always changing their venue because they can never keep a venue.
Do you think that's because people think they're too violent?
But I also know that the owners charge more. They ask you what type of event it is, and the moment you say it's an urban gay event, they put their prices up.
Wow.
And I know this because I've actually inquired myself.
I think it probably is more violent though.
Of course it is. I think
it is more violent.
Gay LGBT events are violent.
No, I'm talking about the black ones.
Gay clubs.
That I've been to, there's been a lot more fights. I've seen the black ones than there are in the white ones. And I've been to probably even that I've been to white and black.
Alright, I'll tell you one perception I've got. The white gay clubs, there's more drugs.
Yeah, but I
don't think so.
Hell of a lot more drugs.
I don't think so.
Or it's comparable. Like,
or you can see it, or you can just see it.
Or you can see it more. But to me, if I can't see it, then I don't know. I can't see it. If I can't see it, if I don't see people in the toilet taking their lines and doing those things. No, but I'm saying I haven't. I don't see it in the black clubs like I've seen it in Heaven or some of the other clubs. So that's something I've noticed.
Definitely there for both of them. I've just definitely there's a lot more fights in the black one. They're a lot more abrasive and they have more of an attitude. Whereas I see in the white ones, I don't really see that as much. People do seem like that very like, oh, I'm just drunk and I'm just gonna have a good time. It's that kind of vibe.
It's definitely a different vibe though. Like in a white club, right, they could be off their faces, but everyone's just happy and huggy and I'll give you a hug. In a black club, when people get drunk, they get aggressive. Like
they do.
I mean, as soon as a black venue gets closed down or a night gets closed down, why are you picking on us? We're black. How about you take responsibility for your own actions? I just find some people of certain minorities take things too personally, rather than own up for their own bullshit and their own stuff they started themselves.
But have you seen the areas in which these clubs are? If you throw people in the ghetto and in the dump,
I definitely disagree. I love my black people, but this is the truth. Like clubs in West End, they're still fighting.
I'm telling you.
They don't need it.
Surely there's something happening in the mindset to generate that environment? Like, is it because it's such a release then? What is it? Is it that we have to be all perceived as masculine? Is it hyper masculinity? Even in the girls and the guys, like, because you've got to present a strong, don't give a fuck facade.
Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with masculinity, more so just status and just trying to acquire some sort of like power within. Well, I guess then it would be towards masculinity, really. And people have that, so then they don't want nobody else to disrespect them in any kind of way, because it means that they're going to be looked at less and all of that. There's just so many hierarchies.
Surely that stems from racial tension and feeling like well, people are hierarchical. Like we do want to do that. We want to have, for example, you know, if you can't take the mick out of someone because of their race, you take the mick out of the fact they're poor. If you can't take the mick out of them because they're feminine or whatever, like we do that. That's something that we do. So are the pressures of negotiating a world like that taking their toll? Do you think? I only just feel like it's taking a toll. Well, on the black community in general, it has a massive toll on that. But inside the clubs, it's just, I guess, a reflection of their everyday lives, really. But in the white clubs, that's why you'll find in the white clubs especially, people just go there after work. Yeah. They don't do that in any of the black clubs. They don't just go there after work because it's not that environment. It's just not.
Do we have anywhere set up for
us to go after?
Yeah.
If there was, then maybe we would.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, all the tension and that. If we like literally have one night out a month, like then the beef that you had from last month hasn't been building up. You see that person, you're like, there's gonna be a.
But why are they really creating beef in a race?
No, but this is what I'm saying. If you have only one thing. But it's not.
No, there was a load.
The monthly event, right? You had one every Saturday from. Yeah. Every Saturday, every Wednesday. Like we had so many different things that we could go to, but we've caused so much.
For guys or girls, because I noticed there was a time. There was a time that even though it said it was mixed, it was predominantly men. And for me to travel all the way from where I live to come all the way to South London to be in a club.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to stop you there. If it says that the club is mixed and women choose not to go because they say that there's gonna be too many men there, that's their business.
All right.
That's why.
Let me break something down to you. Let me break something down to you. Yeah. When I go to a club,
yes.
And it happened the other day. There was a dancing competition. Yeah, okay. There was a dancing competition.
Okay.
The moment a guy jumped up on stage and said he was jumping in, I was like, I don't know if I'm doing it anymore.
Why?
Because let me show you why.
Why? Because
there are times where I'm in the club, right? Where I'm in a club and there are times where I'm in a club and there are often pockets of guys that will get together, and when they start their dancing and their booty shaking, there ain't no space for nobody else. Right. There's no space for anyone. Yeah.
That's a competition. That's a competition. Demand it. If you lost, you lost.
Let me tell you something. When a man, being a female, to have a 6'4" man jump off of the stage because he wants to start band flicking, and his foot lands on my foot, my little size 5 foot, and lands on my foot, my foot's done. I can't compete with that.
But your body is actually bigger, so you can move it and shake it better.
How is my body bigger?
It should be.
It wasn't bigger than the 6'4" man.
It's primarily.
It's 6'4", I'm 5'4".
No.
His was bigger.
No. Generally, women have bigger bodies, so they can move and it does the extra jiggle just by one move. Like, yes, they can do it. Well, I think that like when with out guys and DL guys, they have their own ways about them. And being an out guy, I find that like because of so much prejudice that goes on towards out guys, there being all sorts of negative things where it could be just feminine or bitchy or anything along those lines. I find if I see someone doing that, I do sometimes think to myself, I think you just like you're not helping. you know, help in any situations. Like, and it's and in so many of the cases it's unnecessary as well. So many of them. But and on the other hand, I'm just like, well, you know what? I do have to understand that we are not the same person. And just because I'm out and you're out, don't mean that you represent me. In that sense. So I have to try and think like that. But I do definitely see that when I look at our guys acting out.
I don't know. There's a show that happened a few weeks ago, and for me, it irritates me when I see the only representation of us on a predominantly straight setting or a straight basis is the over the top characters, like the over feminine guy or the over study woman. That when you're trying to represent us, that's the people that you guys have chosen. That's who you've chosen. Why did you have to go for, oh my god, darling, oh my god, oh my god, your hair? Why did you have to go for that?
Because they know the people that's watching the show isn't going to believe that you're gay unless you're doing all of
that.
Exactly.
Because there's that mindset that a lesbian has to be a stud. There's no such thing as a feminine lesbian. They're man-hating. They hate men. But they want to look like men.
But is that because when you're out?
It's true though. They're like, you confuse them, you hate men, but you want to look like them. Why do you dress in the boys section? And just like.
But is that because when you're out, you have to choose? You go out, so you have to choose.
Do you choose? Because I mean, like sometimes with women, I've noticed that they do go the more study direction when they first come out, because they think that's what I want to do. That's what I have to do because that's the representation. And then slowly but surely, they're like, no, this is not me, and they go back to who they are. I've always been a tomboy, even as a kid in dresses, who was forced to wear dresses and do pageants and all that shit. I was a tomboy. Deep down, always gonna be. So when I came out, I'm gonna embrace the tomboy side of it.
That's natural to you.
That's natural to me. I wasn't trying to look like a lesbian.
But do you find
I just happened to look like one.
Do you find that because of the fear of before you come out or whatever, that you have to hide a lot? So you're checking mannerisms, you're checking all of that stuff. Is that not stuff that becomes so ingrained in you that when you come out, you almost have a release, either the opposite way, or you've had this straight jacket on for so long that you can't let that go.
No, I've seen that in girls. I've seen girls who come out and have to be the stud because they have to show the representation in some way. I don't agree with it because it gives a bad image to the rest of us lesbians or whatever it may be that you are, because now all of a sudden we've been boxed into your rug munching, guy hating, stud, full stop.
I mean, I like stress. However, I got my boxer shorts, I got my thongs. It is what it is, right? But I found that I got told, you don't look gay. You don't look gay enough. So what can I do to make myself stand up?
Who's saying that to you?
Gay people are saying this. I'll be in a club. If I get approached, which very rarely happened, if I got approached, it was, are you straight or are you bi? It could never be that I'm in a gay club, so therefore I can be gay.
True. It's true though.
But that's you automatically, because I've got my nails done, my hair's done. I'm straight or bi.
Because no lesbian's gonna get their nails done.
And then when I say I'm gay,
they have long hair.
Really? Are you sure?
But the gay world always loves straight. Like they just do. A lot of the gay world love straight.
I believe
so there's still a belief in the gay world, even in our gay world, that the most attractive thing is someone that's still straight.
I don't think, do you know what it is? I think it's because where the gay world is so small and pocketed, someone straight, untouched goods, it's different. It's not, nobody else knows that they're fresh meat. It's more about fresh meat. I think it's more about the fresh meat rather than, it's more attracted to straight looking. I think it's more about the fact of,
it's fresh meat.
No one else is.
I do think it's also to do with it being a more desirable thing. You know, it's someone who is perceived by the world as being hetero, and yet secretly they're not. I can get that. Yeah, I can get that. So it literally, they embody all the qualities that make them acceptable in society, but I get to do that.
I get that.
I just found that I walked around and I started buying a lot of like rainbow badges and stuff and
I am gay.
But do you guys find the straight persona attractive?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
The straight persona. Do you find it attractive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like women who like women.
I like women who like women too, but I mean, you know, if you're straight and you're interested, yeah, I'll fucks with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll fucks with it. Why not? Because I know at the back of my mind, I ain't trying to turn you, I ain't trying to make you my wife. We're gonna have a fling, you're gonna go back to your man, I'm gonna carry on with the lesbian.
Yeah, see, now this is the thing, I don't ever want to be somebody's gay story.
Nah, yeah, I'm not being
lesbian.
Yeah.
No, dude, go and experiment somewhere else when you're sure about what you want.
Come back to me. Yeah.
But the thing is that, are you trying to make somebody your wife in that kind of situation?
No, but my
when I'm single.
By the end of the day, you'll always be someone's
I'm no one's
story about
fetish.
something.
I'm no one's fetish. Let me be the best lover you ever had, not the gay lover that you had.
Well, it could be both.
It could be both. I'm not against that. So I'm open to when I'm single, if you come about and you straight and you want to play, alright, let's play. But you're gonna leave and I'm gonna leave and it's gonna be okay. Bye. I'm not trying to make you my girlfriend. I'm not trying to, you know, turn you. I'm not trying to be like, you're gonna be gay now because we're doing this. You have to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna go off and do your thing and that's okay. Deep down I know I'm gay.
Alright, so how do you guys feel about like maybe non-black friends or white friends using certain words in music?
Whoa. That's a tough one because it's the lyrics. Do you know what I mean? You're segregating people. If you, as an artist, decide that you're going to use certain words in your song, then basically, and you don't want nobody else to be touching those lyrics except for, don't make it. Because if I'm a person of, you know, or whatever, if I'm white or I'm Asian or whatever the story is, and I'm loving your tracks, but now I can't say it because I'm not black.
Sing the radio edit.
Thank you. Simple right there and then.
In Paris, Jay-Z's song with Kanye, right? But how are they meant to say, oh, I like that song?
Hold on a second. You just said Jay-Z and Kanye, not Jay-Z, Kanye, and Eminem. Yeah?
Oh, is Eminem on it?
No, he's not. That's not the point. That's what I'm saying. There isn't a white person in there singing the song saying, yeah, it's okay for you not to do it. It's not okay. It's never okay to say the word.
But who's really buying that song?
Right.
Who's really buying that song?
That's fine. That's listening to it. But say you go and watch a movie and it's about some psychopath who does all these sort of things. It doesn't sanction the behaviour. Like it doesn't mean because you watched it in a film and you enjoyed it.
Then you can go and emulate.
That film is different. Whatever, because you don't lip sync along with the script.
Yeah.
But you do sing along with the music.
I'm willing to forgive it. It's not something. It's not something like. No, but it's not something.
I don't think it's easy.
You know the word's offensive. As a white person,
it should be in the song.
As a white person, you know the word's offensive. If when you go to sing the song, you go, and then you look around, you knew you shouldn't have said the word.
Yeah.
You knew you
no, but they do it when you're not there.
That's because
I'd rather you do it when I'm there as well. I'd rather you do it when I'm there as well.
Like, I don't give a shit what you say at home. I don't care what you say at home. I don't care what prejudice things, jokes and everything you say at home. That's your
I don't want to hear
business. My argument is, regardless of those impressions, you should never believe that because of those, someone deserves less, or someone deserves to be denigrated, or someone deserves oppression because of that. So, you know, people around the world are prejudiced, they are racist, they do have...
But singing along to the music's not going to imply that in the slightest.
But I find it's given permission.
Yeah.
But artists think
no, because then later on you're going to walk down the road and say, yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
It's too familiar. It's too familiar. You can't do it.
So going down the road and saying that though is completely different from the words of a
No, because that's what it starts. It started at the music. Because you allowed it, you allowed your friend to sing in the music. He thinks he's going to
about respecting the history of the word. Like, if black people say the word to other black people, it's a shared idea. It's like, we know what that means, or
But why is it okay?
Exactly.
Why is it okay?
Because it's up to the oppressed. It's up to the oppressed to decide whether a word that was used against them.
So
they want to make it creative.
we have a word in South Africa which is the K word. Okay, I don't like to say it because it's an oppressive word and I don't enjoy it. Nobody within the black community says it to one another. Nobody within the black community sings it in
You
their
moved
songs.
on a little bit better.
So,
I get it. That's great. But
we moved on, bro. We know we
no,
moved on.
in that sense, if nobody says it to one another, then great, the word is still offensive. The point that we're making is it okay for your white friend to use the word? No, it's
The word
not.
friend. Okay.
If that's your friend, they should know you well enough to say.
Oh, you should know them well enough to know that they don't mean
And that's what I'm
it.
saying. No.
It's your friend.
If it's your
No,
friend,
because
it's your friend.
If my friend, this is what I'm saying about culture differences. Anybody that's around me would know that word is so offensive. You don't use that word. I don't care if it come up on the TV. I don't care if it come up in a song. You don't use that word around me. Full
I
stop.
don't understand why people want to. That's it.
Full stop.
That's it.
Especially when it's